It says, oops. Hey, aloha, what's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and I'm hanging out here with Joby Weeks, and we're here to talk to you about Bitcoin and why not investing in Bitcoin now will be the biggest financial regret of your life. And that's a quote that I took directly off of Joby's Facebook page. Before we get started, welcome, Joby.
Yeah, hey, aloha, Jason. How's it going, bro? Good to see you again.
I'm doing awesome. And what are you up to?
So I'm down here in Necker Island at the Blockchain Summit. See my shirt? They just gave me the shirt today. We're discussing Bitcoin blockchain technology here with Richard Branson and a lot of the who's who in the Bitcoin space. And I mean, really interesting people. I just got done swimming in the ocean, and now it's between dinner. We're about to go to dinner here in a second, so I'm excited to do this call with you, brother.
Awesome. So everybody, I'm glad that I caught Joby. He's always on the move, and the reason why I wanted to talk to him about Bitcoin is because he's somebody that is always on the cutting edge of everything. He's introduced me to so many disruptive technologies over the years. First, it was nutraceuticals way back in the day, and then solar. Just things way ahead of their time. He's into them, and he's just kind of a rebel entrepreneur hanging out at Richard Branson's place right now, and um, he loves Bitcoin, and he recently got me involved in it. I knew about it for a long time, but I was just kind of on the fence. But after being around Joby's enthusiasm, energy, and wisdom and knowledge about it, I couldn't help but get started, and he got me set up with an awesome investment. So I just want to just share.
Shot up $100 this week too. Last
Yeah.
week Bitcoin was $440. Just to give you a time frame of here it is. What's the date today? June 6th or something like that. 2016 Bitcoin last week was $450 a Bitcoin, and this week it's $588. That's what I just looked at it. So it's up $130 in a week, and I think it's going to go to $10,000 a Bitcoin. It's starting to hit that critical momentum, the tipping point, where people are starting to find out about it. And a lot of people out there, there's billions of people out there that don't have bank accounts, they don't have credit cards, they don't have credit scores. It's hard for them to do business and make money, but they do have cell phones. And so with a Bitcoin wallet, you can download it in a minute off the App Store. I set up a website called yourbirthdaybitcoin.com to give away wallets to all my friends who have a birthday. I go on Facebook, like every day, like 10 of my friends have a birthday, so I say, hey, I'd love to buy you a beer for your birthday, or a drink, or whatever, coffee, whatever you drink, and send me your Bitcoin wallet, and I'll buy you a drink for your birthday. If you don't have a Bitcoin wallet, just go to Your Birthday Bitcoin, and you can get a Bitcoin wallet. Send me your wallet address. I'll send you some Bitcoin, and voila, that's what we're doing. So people are setting up wallets every day, and I'm sending out Bitcoin every day and getting people to see how easy it is to use and how quickly it is. The time that it takes to send a wire from Hong Kong to California, you can do like 10,000 Bitcoin transactions. So it's the velocity of money is speeding up, and it's fast. There's no middleman that you have to trust. Kind of like when you send a wire, it has to go through the bank. You write a check, it has to be cleared through the bank. When you doing Visa and MasterCard and PayPal, they charge all these fees, and they freeze your account, and there's chargebacks, and of course Western Union, MoneyGram, all those guys. And with Bitcoin, instantaneous, no middleman, no chargebacks, no fees, or very small fees. I think it's like 4 cents, a 4-cent fee. That's what I pay when I do it my wallet. But yeah, so practically no fees. And yeah, it's just really exciting, and all the other things that you can do with the blockchain now. You can vote. There's companies creating transparent voting, so that you can't hack elections. There's people that are creating identity management. There's 40 million people just in Indonesia that don't have birth certificates. They don't have identities. They can't get bank accounts. They can't do any of these things. They can't travel. There's over 2 billion people around the world that are. It's impossible to do any kind of business because they can't verify who it is who they are. So that's really cool. There's smart contracts that are coming out where these contracts actually execute themselves. So it takes away the human element, if you will, of greed and people embezzling money from companies and all these types of things. Where on the contract it was a legitimate agreement, but then the partner or whatever didn't stick to their side of the contract. Well, now with these smart contracts, so the sky is endless. I just sat through a lecture on how they're loading music to the blockchain for artists to be able to get paid and get paid out in Bitcoin all over the world. So it's super exciting. What you can think, it's like the internet all over again, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's way exciting, and it's a lot funner than even walking into a bank. You know, when you talk about Western Union, go to the bank, or any of those things, none of us like doing that. It's like going to the DMV. It's just not a fun experience. There's all these fees, and it's just kind of an old school system. And the way I see Bitcoin is that, you know, way back in the day, we were trading our cows and wives and then, you know, spices and then eventually metals, and then, you know, eventually metals backed by paper. And then what happened was the metals kind of disappeared, and we entered into a world of fiat currency. Where it's in.
Yeah, one of my favorite analogies when I'm talking to people is like, look, guys, say the year is 1950, and you got a room full of cash in your mattress, and you want to go buy a house. You're in Laguna Beach, California, and you see this beautiful house overlooking the water, and you're like, it's $50,000 for the house, and you're so stoked. You start driving home to go get that money, and on your way driving home, you get in a car accident, and the last thought you have is this house that you're going to buy, and it knocks you into a coma, and you're lying there in a coma in the hospital for 50 years. And then the year's 2000, you wake up, all you've been thinking about is this house. You wake up, so you finally get home, you get to your bed, you open the mattress, you got your $50,000, you go to buy the house. That house is now $3 million. What happened? Well, what happened is the purchasing power of our money went down, 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 because the government and the Federal Reserve prints all this money, and then they spend it in the economy, making all the money worth less and less and less. Inflation. Inflation is a tax. It's theft. They're stealing our purchasing power. That's why it's illegal for you and I to do it, because we're debasing the currency. We get thrown in jail if we did it, but they get to do it, and you know it's awful. So Bitcoin is just the opposite. Bitcoin is a deflationary currency where it gets more and more valuable every single day. As supply goes down, demand goes up, and of course the price that's why we're seeing Bitcoin going from a penny a Bitcoin to a dime of Bitcoin, to $1, to $10, to $100, to $500 a Bitcoin. We're going to see it in the next 2-3 years at $10,000 a Bitcoin. So
yeah, so probably be a pretty.
It's a great investment.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here watching it. You know, just I'm checking Google about 4 or 5 times a day now. Just like, holy crap, I can't believe how high this is jumping up. And you know, I don't know if that's going to. I just know that as more and more people lose faith in the current monetary system, it's the transition and shift that people have been talking about for years. People have been talking about the greatest transfer of wealth in history, but nobody really had any idea of what it was. But to me, it's transitioning into an entirely new money system that's based on freedom and choice and not control and corruption. Which I just feel good about. I'm getting paid in Bitcoin now from my clients, you know, that I work with in my media business. Cool. I won't work with anybody that doesn't pay me in Bitcoin.
It's so much more convenient, and it's cheaper to use it. I mean, you can go to Starbucks. You can literally go buy a $25 gift card at Starbucks for $20. Like, save 20% on your Starbucks by paying with Bitcoin. You can spend it at Purse and get anything you want off Amazon for 15 to 20% off. You can go to Target and spend it there. I'm with the CEO of a company called Gift, where you can buy gift cards to all types of stores, Best Buy and Red Lobster, whatever you want, Home Depot, and you can pay in Bitcoin. You can even put your Bitcoin on a Visa card. This is called the Shift card. Visa. So instead of it being backed by euros or yens or pounds or dollars, this card is backed by Bitcoin. So I can save my money just like you save your money in your checking account and you use your debit card. I have my debit card, but it's all backed by my Bitcoin. And so as Bitcoin becomes more and more valuable, it's like the ultimate savings account. You know, it's like literally people that aren't catching on to this, they're going to be so mad at themselves. I mean, so mad that they took them so long for them to take action. So that's what we're basically telling people is procrastinate later, get yourself a wallet, do it. I mean, there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. Literally the smartest, the richest, the most successful people on planet Earth are putting billions of dollars into this blockchain, Bitcoin tech, building apps and everything onto the blockchain that you would never even believe. Sitting with the richest and most successful people. Was lucky enough to get invited because we actually got into creating Bitcoin, creating and mining Bitcoin. They call it kind of like gold mining, but with Bitcoin. And the Fury group has created these chips. They're these 16 nanometer chips that help. You guys know how Visa, right? Visa has these big data centers, and they track all the Visa transactions around the world, billions of dollars, right? There's millions of people that use Visa, and every time that Visa card is swiped, Visa charges the merchant 3%. So if a merchant, sells something for $100, so that swipe happens, the merchant only gets $97. Visa takes the other $3. Visa's making hundreds of millions of dollars a day. It's crazy. So what we decided to do is copy Visa but with Bitcoin. So we set up a big data center, and we're tracking all the Bitcoin transactions around the world and securing the network. And for doing so, our data center generates us money. So that's why I bought the tech from Bitfury, is to grow this data set, basically crowdfund this Bitcoin mine. And recently, there's another cryptocurrency called Ethereum that we decided to start mining as well. You can Google Ethereum. It's a clever competitor to Bitcoin, if you will. So we decided that we were going to get into that too, because there's a lot of smart developers that are building on top of that blockchain. And so we're right now really excited about Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we've got. If you think about how much processing power, you remember how back in the day, how like Napster. You remember the centralized Napster model, and everybody would go down music and movies and everything off Napster?
Yep.
So, but Napster got shut down because it was centralized, right? It was, copyright violations and all this stuff. The artists were getting upset, not getting paid, and all that. So Napster got shut down. Well, then somebody created something called the BitTorrent software, where if you run this software on your laptop, you can share files with people all around the world. So millions and millions and millions of people download the software so that they could swap videos and music and all that stuff. And there was no central location anymore. It was decentralized on the BitTorrent network. And even today, you can go on Views or Pirate Bay or BT Junkie or whatever and download any music, any movie you want, because there's no central location for them, the government, to go and shut down like they did with Napster. Well, think of that network of millions of computers running that software. The currency that runs on top of the BitTorrent network is Bitcoin. So there's millions of computers around the world that run this software. And so by running this software, we are basically incentivizing all these people to help secure the network and to track all the Bitcoin transactions so it can't get hacked, so hackers can't. And then you can move money around peer to peer to peer, and you don't need to have it go through any centralized. So there's no bank that issues Bitcoin. There's no government that issues or can control it. It's kind of like we were talking yesterday about how do they regulate Bitcoin, and it's kind of like gravity. I mean, you can pass a law to ban gravity, but we're still going to have gravity. Gravity doesn't care.
Yeah.
We're going to make it illegal to have gravity. It's like what someone would say.
They would try.
Yeah, well, and I was just laughing last night because, you think about it, you're like, they banned cocaine, they banned marijuana. You can get that stuff in every country around the world. It's banned. Right? So anyways, the idea is this is an unstoppable technology that no one controls. It's all math. And to incentivize all these computers to help with the processing power behind the network to process these transactions, pay them. Bitcoin literally is issued, when it first started, every 10 minutes, 50 Bitcoin would hit a computer every 10 minutes. And that's how Bitcoin was released in the economy. So this is an incentive for you to run your laptop at night while you're sleeping, and you wake up in the morning, and voila, you have Bitcoin on your computer. It made money for you all night long while you were sleeping. So that's called Bitcoin mining. And so you're donating your hashing power, your computer processing power, the CPUs. You're monetizing your internet bandwidth. A lot of people have a monthly internet bill. They're spending it no matter how much data they use, so might as well monetize it. And so Bitcoin has pumped out $7 billion this way. $7 billion has been given away to people who help secure the network. And so instead of there being millions of little computers, which there are, we just decided to centralize it all in one warehouse for our club. It's an invite-only club that we created. And so people can join, they can buy shares in our mining pool, and then make residual income with us. So let's say our club's making, $100,000 every day in Bitcoin. What we do is every day we take that money and disperse to our investors in a daily dividend paid out in Bitcoin. And so far we've got thousands of members all over the world in over 80 countries now, and they're all mining Bitcoin with us, and we're paying them out in Bitcoin every day. And yeah, I know that's what you decided. You got some Bitcoin and you got some Bitcoin shares in the mine, so you can grow your Bitcoin. If you buy 5 Bitcoin right now and you just sit on it, 5 years from now you'll still only have 5 Bitcoin.
You could be like the janitor from Microsoft, if you ever heard that story, the guy that ended up having Ferraris and whatnot because he had Microsoft shares early on. To me, that's what it's like. It's one of those opportunities where you can get really, really ridiculously rich by investing, not too much at this point in time. It's continuing to go up, but if you were somebody sitting here right now on the fence, or someone that wanted to invest in Bitcoin but wasn't sure how to get started, or what would you tell them right now?
So I tell them, buy some Bitcoin, buy some Ethereum, and then buy some shares to mine it too. Because if you buy 10 Bitcoin and 5 years later you go back, you still only have 10 Bitcoin. My thought is, it's kind of like this. If you have $50,000, you can either take the money and buy yourself a Mercedes-Benz, and voila, you got the car right away, or you can take that 50 grand and buy an asset that will then generate cash flow to pay the monthly car payment. 3 years later, the car is paid for. You still have that asset, though, that's generating cash flow to buy you jet skis or a boat or whatever. So instead of taking your money and buying 50 grand of Bitcoin, I think it's smarter to take your money and then buy Bitcoin mining equipment that will then generate you an endless supply of Bitcoin. So that's my thought. But I think you should have some Bitcoin too. So you should buy a little Bitcoin, but I'm recommending people, do what we're doing, so that their 10 Bitcoins will turn into 12 Bitcoins, which will turn into 15 Bitcoins, etc. So you can actually grow your Bitcoin instead of just having it sit there not doing anything,
Yeah, so I brought Joby on this call, and real quick, I want to talk a little bit about the club that he's got going. It's something that he came out to Maui. He'll show up like every 6 months in Hawaii. Hey, I'm here. And he's always got something cool and new, but this time I could tell that, the passion and enthusiasm that he had, because this is just totally in alignment with who he is, what he stands for was completely there. So I just got completely on board, but I want to just show you guys. If you don't know who Joby is, he's kind of he's a rock star and a celebrity that he lives that lifestyle, but I don't know if he knows it, he might not know it, but that's a lifestyle that he lives. You've traveled nonstop since you were pretty much 20 years old, all over the world, as long as I've known you. You made your first $1 million when you were 20.
Yeah.
And with a similar
I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and I see the 3 opportunities. I see health and wellness tech, which we did that for a long time. I still do it. I love being healthy. I don't want to be on pharmaceutical drugs, right? Clean energy tech, getting people off the grid and generating free electricity and driving around in electric cars like Teslas and stuff like this. And then the fintech, Bitcoin. And you think about, like, the oil cartel does $1 trillion a year, the pharmaceutical cartel does $1 trillion a year. The banking cartel does $8 trillion every day. These currency swaps, I mean, it's so big. Bitcoin is disrupting that whole thing. We now have a way to send money like we send videos. Instead of like YouTube sends, or you can listen to music and pass your music around the world on iTunes, or sending emails. Nobody sends letters really anymore. But everybody has to go to the bank and do wires and all that. They hadn't figured out how to move money around until now with Bitcoin and the blockchain. So that's so important, and it's made. I mean, what made me take a look. Number one is the richest, smartest people are doing it. But I actually put $200 into Bitcoin when my friend was harassing me about it, and I bought 250 Bitcoin for $200. And then he left me alone. I didn't even think about it because I was doing other stuff. And then I heard about Bitcoin again. I was like, oh yeah, I think I have some of that. I log into my account, and my $200 worth of Bitcoin was now worth $50,000.
Wow.
So from $200 to 50 grand, and I was like, what is Bitcoin? I didn't understand it. So I went on YouTube and I watched all the videos, and I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest invention in the world. And
Yeah.
so now here I am in Mercer Island with the smartest, most successful people. And all we're talking about for 3 days right now is Bitcoin and all these cool applications you can build on top of the blockchain. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it's genius land there. And if you're hanging out with Richard Branson, I mean, you're you guys are just doing it, systems busters. So it's awesome to see. So
Well, I hope you can come to the next one, dude. I mean, listen, man, let's rock and roll. Help me crowdfund this data center, this Bitcoin mine. We can make lots of money doing it. And I mean, we already have guys that have joined that. So we created an affiliate program with the mine. So you can actually make money by referring, kind of like how Uber does it. If you get a link when you set up an account with Uber, and if you send that link to your friend and he takes a free ride on Uber, you get a free ride too. Airbnb does it, you know, and these companies grew to billions of dollars, and like millions of people use Uber and Airbnb and all this. So we're doing the same thing. Coinbase, which is yourbirthdayBitcoin.com, will give you $10 if you set up a link, a wallet through Coinbase, and they'll give me $10 too. Every wallet I give away, my person gets $10 and I get $10 too. So that's how we start everyone out, get everybody wallets, and then educate them about that, and then get them into the mine so that they can grow their Bitcoins. And so on the first referral for the mine, you make 5% off of whatever the person invests. So if someone buys 2 shares of the mine for $1,000, you would make 5% of that, $50. So it's not a lot of money off the top, but there's residuals too, because you can actually set your daily dividend to reinvest some of it each day. So with Ethereum, you can just pull 100% out. We haven't figured out how to make the reinvestment, so you just keep 100% of it. But you can go in the back office with the mining of Bitcoin, and you can set it, you know, do a 50-50 split or 70-30 split or 60-40 split, however you want to do it, where you can, let's say, like you bought your 2 shares that you bought for $1,000 is generating you $4 a day, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say you have it on a 50-50 split. If you're pulling $2 a day out and putting that in your pocket, and you're reinvesting the other $2 back into yourself a third share, means $2 times 250 days is $500. That buys you your third share now. So now you have 3 shares working together to buy you your 4th share, and those 4 shares work together to buy your 5th share. So you're compounding that. Meanwhile, you're still pulling out your $2 a day. You eventually get your initial investment back. Now you're playing with the house's money, and you're growing your Bitcoin stash. So that's kind of the idea. So, Jason, if you referred me, I bought the 2 shares. You make 5% off the top, plus you make 10% of my daily rebuy. So you make $50 off the top, and then you make, every time I reinvest, $2 every single day back into the mine. You get 10% of that. You're making 20 cents a day. So you're getting residual income referring me for years and years and years. So it's awesome. That's why it's going so viral now, is because there's a real way for people to help us crowdfund the mine and generate cash flow that lasts for forever. And we're about to launch an app that allows all of our affiliates to go sign up businesses to take Bitcoin, to accept Bitcoin for their goods and services. So that's a huge thing as well, because the more people that use Bitcoin, the more businesses that accept Bitcoin, the more valuable Bitcoin becomes. And that's the goal. So think about hundreds of thousands of people from around the world that are like hitting the streets, door knocking their businesses, signing up the gas stations and the grocery stores to take Bitcoin. We charge the merchants 1%. Visa charges, 3%, so it's cheaper than Visa, and there's no chargebacks, right? So the merchants say, yes, it's cheaper. We can batch it into whatever currency they want if they don't want to hold Bitcoin. But if you're the one that's going and sign up these businesses, you get paid forever on all the transactions that business does. So another income stream. Anyways, it's pretty exciting that what's happening, and so I just encourage everybody who's watching this to get a hold of Jason, and he'll send you the link. It's an invite-only club, so we don't just let anyone in. But if you qualify, Jason might invite you into the club, and you can make some money with us.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, just getting involved in the mining alone was smart. I don't have a big old, I don't have to have an extra computer or tower or anything like that. I wouldn't know how to set those things up in the first place. They take care of it all, and I log in my back office every day. I'm making money. I'm making money. I'm making money. I'm not doing anything.
Never missed a day.
but I'm making money, and then there's all these additional ways to get more Bitcoin on top of that, and it's just something that I talk to everybody about. I haven't been doing the Coinbase wallet thing, so if you're on this call and you're not invested in Bitcoin, I guess you can get a Coinbase wallet for us for free. If you
you get $10 off your first purchase.
Yeah.
So you can get $10 worth of Bitcoin for free, and it's all hands free, really. I mean, that's what's the joy about Bitcoin. You never have to set foot in a bank again. And we do pretty much everything for you. I mean, you can take delivery of the Bitcoin mining equipment and mine it in your basement if you really want to, but it's way more expensive in Hawaii. It's like 40 cents per kilowatt hour up in Hawaii. What we do is, you buy a share, which equates to Bitcoin mining equipment, but instead of you taking delivery of it, we ship it to our data center in Iceland, where we're only having to pay 6 cents per kilowatt hour instead of 40 cents per kilowatt hour like in Hawaii. So it's a lot for electricity, plus it's cold in Iceland, so we don't have to run all the air conditioner units to keep the chips and everything cold. So that's why we chose Iceland. And so if at any time you want to take delivery of your mining equipment, you can, but we just leave it up there and link it together with all the, and it just, makes us money every single day. It's great. And you can travel all around the world.
Okay.
And, have fun.
Real quick before we wrap it up here, I just want to show you guys just some pictures that I pulled off of Joby's Facebook page, just in case you don't know who he is. So I've been pulling these up. There's him at Necker. This was last time you were at Necker Island hanging out with Richard Branson. And this is your everyday normal life. You're just doing stuff like this all the time.
Groundhog Day. I can't see the pictures. Am I supposed to be able to see the pictures too, or no?
Actually, oops, I didn't share my screen. Just a second. Okay.
Yeah, which ones are you showing everybody?
Okay, here we go. All right. So on top of the Great House, you see that one?
I have seen that one. I was just up there last night in the hot tub. It was hilarious.
Nice. And what does Richard Branson have to say about Bitcoin?
Oh, he's awesome. He's fully invested, believes in it, and he's a stud. He's just so cool.
Nice.
So laid back, smart.
There you are hanging out, Joe Rogan, with your wife Stephanie.
That's a funny picture.
Yeah. This is the most recent. This isn't the most recent Forbes article. You just recently did.
That's
another
actually
one.
the most recent one. But you know what, dude? I'm actually going for an interview with Forbes to talk about a block that our mine hit. Someone made a mistake the other day, and they generated. They tried to send $5, and they put on there a transaction fee of $130,000. So we got $130,000, and so we tried to give it back to the person, but the guy, no one claimed it. So what I'm doing is I'm donating all that money to charities, Bitcoin Foundation, and the Digital Chamber of Commerce, and the MIT guys, like a whole branch in the college that's dedicated to blockchain Bitcoin stuff, and the Bitcoin Alliance, and various charities that are doing good things for the world. I'm going to donate some to Project Cure, which has nothing to do with Bitcoin. That's actually just getting medical supplies to people in countries all around the world. And anyways, it's just cool stuff, and so it's fun to be able to bless people with this new tech and get people from third world country status up to second world, up to first world, because the only reason that they're in the third world is because of their corrupt governments, and no banks will go set up anything. And if they can all now do business with people in the first world, capitalism, freedom, free markets, creates prosperity and abundance. So that's kind of what we're all about here. And what other pictures were you going to show?
Well, there's the Forbes one. This is what I'm talking about, like a rock star. I don't know. These guys look like they're in a band or something.
Those guys actually are rock stars. That's a band called Naked Elephant. My buddy Josh is, and yeah. Anyway, so
there's Joby in the back sipping on his Cristal. And you're just flying on private jets. You know how to game the system. It's just
that was a G4, I believe. Yeah, it's Stephanie flying. I think that was like New York to Vegas in the G4.
Yep. On a boat.
That guy sitting next to me is actually a really badass kiteboarder. Nick Jacobson. He's cool, and that's Peter.
Nice. There you are in the hot tub with Richard Branson.
That was,
those jetpacks. Yeah, just
that was fun.
Yeah, so I just want to wrap it up, and let me stop my screen sharing here. There we go. And just so Joby has set up this business model with Bitcoin. He's been talking about
Well, it
it a
wasn't
lot.
just me. I've got friends. We've got about 30 or 40,000 people involved now. Just me. I'm not going to take any kind of credit on this. There's a lot of smarter people than me doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so he set it up with all these people, all these geniuses, and now you have the opportunity to participate in it. We are looking to build a team all over the world, people who realize that, the old money system, the fiat currency, is just not valuable. I just don't feel good about it. I don't feel comfortable having U.S. dollars. I really never have, but it just continues to get worse. And I just think it's smarter to invest in your future and have the opportunity to help people and make more money at the same time. And just get involved in this new game. There's a lot of learning to do, but it's actually fun. It's fun setting up these wallets and setting up these systems. It's fun going to the grocery store and paying for your groceries with your BitPay card. I did that for the first time the other day and got some gas. I was like, wow, this is incredible. So we have a form that you can fill out below on this page. There's just a couple of questions, and then we'll get in touch with you, and we can show you in the back office of this club and explain a little bit more if you want to get involved in it. If you want to capitalize on this, emerging trend and start to shift your dollars into these cryptocurrencies and mine, get paid every day by mining. This is how you do it. And
it's so cool, dude. Passive residual income that pays you while you're sleeping. That's the secret to having freedom. You got to disconnect yourself from having to trade time for money, because there's a limit to how much money you can, how much you have. But with this, it's completely different. This is passive residual income. Literally, it's the best thing I've ever seen. So, with that, thanks for having me on, Jason. It's good to catch up with you, brother, and we hope to work with some of you guys if you qualify for joining the club with us.
Yep, just go ahead and fill out that form below, and we'll get in touch with you soon. And thank you very much, Joby. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy weekend, or I think it's Monday actually, out on Sir Richard Branson's island, and hope you have a lot of fun the rest of your time there.
All right, brother. I'll be posting pictures to my Facebook wall, so you can check them out from there. I hope you can be at the next one.
All right. Take care.
Brother.
See ya. Bye.
Ciao.